What's going on? Welcome to another episode of FNL Fantasy Night Live, brought to you by the Fantasy Football Network. I am 7 o'clock. This is my brother from another, Jeff Clark, aka Media, aka the best running back the Raiders have ever had.
And the
How you
Chiefs.
doing, man?
I don't know about that. I forgot about Priest Holmes and all that, man. What's going on, y'all? Week 3.
Yes. Quick disclaimer, man. Sorry for the tardiness. Computer kind of crashed, but we're up. We're running. We're gonna get it done. And second, man, rest in peace, Mike Tags of the Fancy Pros, man. He's someone who I followed regularly, and man, I saw the news at work today, and that just crushed me. So, um, RIP to him and his family, man. Our condolences, and hopefully he and the Fantasy Pros, or his family and the Fantasy Pros team, just bounce back stronger, man. So RIP Tags. Um, week 3, Oakland versus Miami is
Ooh, jumping right in.
what are your thoughts?
Um, Waiting to see just how real this Oakland defense is. If they let Miami move the ball without Tua, if they're letting Jacoby Brissett move the ball, then I'm going to fall back a little bit on them. But if Max Crosby and the boys are doing what they've been doing, then I'm going to go ahead and give them everything that they deserve. They are for real. I will give it up to all my Raider fan partners and everything, all those that are close to me in Oakland. I will say, y'all finally got a team that I can confidently say so far, it looks like they might make it to the playoffs. And it looks like they're a real challenge to the Chiefs in that AFC
Challenge
West.
to the Chiefs?
Challenge to the Chiefs, man.
Wow.
You can go ahead and say it. If everything is riding still on this week, I'm going to see if they can't stop Miami. All of that is off the table. I'm wiping that all off and be like, y'all the same trash Raiders that you've been.
I'm gonna say this: Gaskins is probably the only Dolphin that I would trust for fantasy. I think Jacobs may miss another game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Maybe not. May start Kenyon Drake. I know he's splitting time with Barber, and outside of Waller, I don't think I'm going to start Carr or Ruggs. So I'll probably just stick with Waller and Gaskins as my only 2 must starts for this particular matchup.
I'm looking at it like this.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a off week, but the Miami defense let Devin Singletary score a touchdown. So that Kenyon Drake move may not be bad. That could work.
Hey, if you're a Mostert owner and you have Kenyon Drake, he could show some flex appeal for sure.
Yeah, right.
Let's move on to Baltimore versus Detroit. Detroit's got a little, they're 0-2, but they're a up and coming 0-2. They've shown a little bit of grit in their losses. There's no such thing as a good loss, but they've shown, for fantasy purposes, they've shown us some good losses. Goff looks like he wasn't the scheme artist, or McVay's scheme wasn't all him. But obviously Hawkinson is a must start. Mm-hmm. Probably going to start Swift, assuming that he plays, which I think he will play. I like Cephas as a sneaky flex play. People sleeping on him. I did my media take on him. He's someone I think people should stash for the bye weeks. Mm-hmm. What about your thoughts? Any players stand out? Are you still a believer in Tyson? Murray scored back-to-back weeks. Talk to me. Who you got?
I got a couple of things right here.
Yeah.
This is Fantasy Night Live, but this is not a skit. I am actually starting Jared Goff. Only because my other options I do not trust. Ben Roethlisberger, I do not trust.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, even though he's playing against the Giants, I still do not trust. I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice and see what my man Jared Goff can do. My other quarterback, I have 4. I'm in a crazy league where we've got tons of slots, 2 quarterback league, and Tyrod Taylor's on IR. So, I
Mm.
got to roll the dice. But I think, hey, that Ravens defense is not the Ravens defense of old. So,
I
you
feel
know,
you.
I think that he's going to be able to move the ball, Goff, by dumping it off to Swift, Jamal Williams, who's ever getting most of the reps in that backfield,
Yeah,
Hawkinson, and your boy Quintez Cephas. I think it's a possibility, man, that they're able to do some work. So
for
we'll
sure.
see. We'll see.
For sure. I don't think that either Murray or Williams will emerge as a starter. I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch just because they've lost so many running backs already. I don't think
Right.
one will get more than 16 to 18 touches in a single game. I think they're going to just keep it a balance, keep them both healthy, keep them both upright, and then maybe come playoffs they ride the hot hand and ride that guy into the ground. But I think 12 to 16 touches per game is what you can realistically expect from both backs.
Yeah. The
Um,
thing I do like about Tyson, though, he's quick enough to where he might bust one. That's the only
true,
thing.
true. I agree. I agree. This game, I was actually in Vegas last year for a bachelor party, and it came down to the wire. Minnesota versus Seattle. I know you can't like get
Ooh,
excited, expect what happened last week to
ooh.
happen, last year happened this year, but talk to me. Seattle, Minnesota.
Man, if they don't do something to that damn secondary in Seattle, then yes, this could be a barn burner. I just see balls just
A
being
slobber
thrown.
knocker, as JR
Exactly.
would say.
Just see bombs being thrown on both sides.
Hmm.
Russell and goddamn Kurt, man, would just be going back and forth. Um, Expect whoever Flowers is covering, start that person because
Ooh,
Flowers is not good. I'm going to be polite on my team,
yeah,
Seattle. So if it's KJ Osborne, if you happen to pick him up off the waiver wires, man, I'm inserting that cat in the lineup if Flowers is covering him. The only thing that I am kind of also a little bit worried about, and I think it's going to be a last minute decision if Cook plays. But
hmm
last year, Madison he gashed my Seahawks for over 100 yards. So either way, the running game could be good. Although I think the defensive line, man, not thinking about what happened in that second half with Derrick Henry. I don't know if that's Derrick Henry. Alexander
he's
Madison's
special.
not
He's
Derrick
special.
Henry.
He's different.
So, yeah. So I don't know, man. Receivers, I'm definitely going to trust. Running
Yeah,
game, don't really know. But everybody on Seattle, starting them because the Vikings
yeah.
defense is not the Vikings defense at all.
I feel you. I think obviously you have to start Russ, Carson, Lockett, and DK. I'm not. I don't feel too comfortable starting Everett, but I don't have a choice. I
Neither
punted
do
on
I.
tight end, and now I'm looking. Now I'm looking like I don't know what I'm talking about. On the other side, obviously you got Thielen, Jefferson, Cook. Kirk Cousins is a sneaky play, man. He's quietly
Yes,
having a
he is.
good season. It's still early. Um, and then the gentleman you mentioned was Osborne.
Yep.
Got some
Yes, sir.
upside. I like that you mentioned him.
He
He's not
does.
getting enough credit for being a quality number three. I just always worry about like the San Francisco 49ers aspect. Like Ayuk is the odd man out, behind. It's a run first offense. You've got Debo, you've got Kittle. Can the third receiver eat consistently? In
But
San
that's what I
Francisco,
like
that's not
about him.
the
The
case.
last couple of games, he has actually scored first. Last
Mm,
week, first
right.
touchdown went to him. So
Yep.
it just
Yep.
lets me know that Kirk is kind of looking in his direction.
You're
Because
taking
I
what the
think
defense gives them.
there it is. There it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
There it is.
Uh, New Orleans versus New England. Uh,
Hmm.
Tale of two games. 1 minute we
Yes,
eating
it
crab
is.
legs. Next week we take we
He
next
ended
week
up,
we
as soon as
taking
he did
L's.
that,
Next
that
week
was
we
the
taking
curse.
L's, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
outside of Kamara, I don't know if you can trust anyone on that team. I really don't.
Well,
And even
that's
him, he
true.
put up a goose. He didn't put up a goose egg, but for where he was drafted, that was pretty much a goose egg for a first
Very,
top five
very
pick.
low. Yeah, that was the thing, though. I think people really underestimated that Carolina defense. And
Mm,
then, you woke up that that morning, you saw the number of inactives that they had for the Saints, man, and a
Yeah.
couple of people from the offensive line, a couple of
Coaching
people from the
staff.
defensive line. Yeah, man, it was like, whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a one-off with Jameis because you never know what Jameis you're going to get. We'll
Yeah.
see if Sean Payton has fixed things. But one of the coaches that I think that Belichick has concerns coaching against is Sean Payton. So
Hmm.
that's another thing. But that's not to say I'm starting Jameis Winston. I'm not definitely not starting any of the receivers for the Saints. You got to start Kamara. They're gonna figure out a way to get him the ball, I believe, this
Right.
game. So we'll
On
see.
the other hand, Damian Williams is a beast, certified
Yes, he
beast.
is. Yes,
And
he
I think
is.
he's only going to get better. And I think that team is only going to get better, which is not good for the rest of the AFC. I'm not saying that they'll win the whole thing, but they could be a problem, and they could steal a few games from teams that are in the playoff hunt. Uh, Jacoby Myers, sneaky flex play, just because he has a very very low floor with the amount of targets that he receives. And Damian Harris, I would obviously play him. I don't trust either tight end. Maybe if one went down, I'd have faith in Smith or Henry. But other than that, I don't think you can trust Aguilar week to week or even this
Right,
week.
right.
So maybe Myers and Harris. That's about it. Are you with me on that one?
I'm with you on that one, man.
Okay.
I'm with you
um,
on.
my Steelers, man. No Johnson. No DJ. No DJ. That's my DJ. Um,
Man,
obviously Harris. Claypool could be a flex. Juju could be a flex. That's about it.
yeah.
Cincy, no No wait, yeah, no
No
Higgins.
Higgins. Yeah, no Higgins.
Chasing Boyd. Boyd gets no love, man. For a guy who
No
quietly
love
gets
at
like
all.
900 to 1,000 yards a game, gets no love.
Exactly. Exactly. I got a feeling though that the Steelers are looking to rebound from what happened last week. This
Hmm.
is still, considered somewhat of a rivalry game.
Hmm.
So, the one thing I'm actually trusting a lot of just Najee Harris more than anything because I'm not really trusting Ben to throw the ball a lot right now. I'm just thinking the key to this game because I always play the Steelers defense. We shut down Joe Mixon,
Yeah.
things will be good. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm not really looking anybody other than Tyler Boyd. Maybe I don't think Jamar Chase. I think he's gonna find out this is the real NFL this game.
Ooh, interesting. Mixon is a top tier talent. I hate that offensive line. And he's
Exactly.
someone like Mike like Henry who probably needs like 20-25 touches to like get warmed up because he's getting hit before he gets back to the
Right.
line of scrimmage often. So he needs a little bit of
And
about him, kind of like a Josh Jacobs.
that's one
Um,
thing too. I don't even think the Raiders win that game last week if TJ Watt was playing.
yeah,
TJ Watt, Devin Bush, they play. That's a
yeah,
totally different defense.
they had
So
a D
that's another
lineman
thing
that
you got
also
to
got
look at.
hurt,
You got to see if they're
but
playing.
that's part of the game. I can't make no excuses. Uh, yeah, that's just part of the game. Washington and
It
Buffalo,
is.
man. Washington and Buffalo. Scary Terry, automatic. Logan Thomas, automatic. And then I guess you spent the draft capital on Gibson. You got to start him, even though he hasn't returned return on investment (ROI), which we talk about all the time. It hasn't been there yet, but hopefully you get it
Exactly.
soon. Buffalo's defense front seven is not nothing to play with either, so you might
Nothing
have to
at
wait. You
all.
might have to wait another week.
Exactly. Exactly. And I like my man Taylor Heineke, man. I'm not gonna lie. I like that dude since the playoffs.
Yeah,
Don't know if I'm gonna play him against the Bills, but I might just because I know Scary Terry is there. I
yeah, he's got
love
some
dudes.
weapons. He's got some
I love
weapons.
dudes that are matchup proof, man. And Scary Terry has finally proved to me that he is in that he's on that level that he is matchup proof. So Heineke may not be bad.
Um, Unfortunately, I suffered several injuries in fantasy football, so I have to start Devin Singletary, and I'm praying for another 40-yard scamper to the house.
It's not a bad. He's looking a lot better this year, man.
He's looking a lot better
Hell,
this year.
Even Zach Moss with them 2 goal line carries, man. I was
I
like, what is
know,
going
right?
on?
I know.
I don't know if
Whoa.
necessarily that's going to happen this week, but Washington's defense has not been looking like Washington's defense. So I don't
Media.
know.
We got the Pickle Rick in the chat right now. You probably don't
Ooh,
know who Pickle Rick is.
I do not. I do not, but I like the name.
I'm gonna have to send you some stuff, man. We got Pickle Rick in the chat. We
All
got
right.
starter Josh Allen, Kamara, Swift, Brown, Debo, Jared Cook, Marvin Jones, bench, Mike Davis, Rondo Moore, B. Cook, Knox, Lindsey, Winston, Vikings D. No PPR thoughts. Anybody to bench?
Mm.
I think that's the starters, man. I mean, Marvin
Yeah.
Jones has caught 2 in 2 days, and
You
he
know
seems to
what
be
though?
Trevor.
You may want to check and see if you might want to put Rondell Moore in there
Are you buying the
because if
Rondell Moore hype?
D Hop is hurt. So if D Hop is
Well,
out,
okay, fair enough.
you may want to go ahead
You know
and
what?
put him in.
Leave it as is. But if D Hop does not play, swap Rondell Moore in for who is your flex? Kamar Swift, Brown, Debo. So Marvin. Yeah, I think you just have to because that's 10 to 12 targets. Not saying that Rondo Moore will get them, but he should get at least 4 or 5 more of them. He's so explosive. I'm surprised he made it to the second round. Um, but great
And that's
question. I got to
also
show you Pickle
that's
Rick,
good
dog.
point.
I got to show you Pickle Rick. Man,
All
welcome
right.
back, Gabe. Thanks for rocking with us.
Yes, sir. Yes,
ALR.
sir.
Was that Allen Robinson? Do I start AJ Brown or Mike Williams? Just a question.
Ooh,
That's a,
Mike Williams.
hey, he's
AJ
come
is just
alive,
not
right?
looking at AJ. Yeah.
Dude, hey, he lives in our comments, bro. We're gonna have to start charging him rent. Mike Williams is every
Exactly.
week. Everyone got a Mike Williams question.
That's it.
I know you're hitting us up for our opinion, man. I don't want to choose between this one. I'll let you have this one, bro. So
Mike
if the call is
Williams has
wrong, they
been
can
doing it
blame
for
you.
me.
Blame media. Don't blame
The
me.
league that I'm in against you, Mike Williams is on my squad. He's in my lineup, and I'm hoping he's going to break Piggy's bank for me this week.
Yeah. Fantasy shout out to fantasy shot callers.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully you guys come back Sunday night, 10 o'clock. Hopefully I have my situation better and we can do sloppy Sundays. Presented to you by the Fantasy Football Network. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Um, Gabe, Tennessee plays Indy. That's AJ Brown, bro. But Mike Williams has been consistent. I'm gonna go.
And they
Oh
play
my gosh,
KC.
I feel so crazy saying this. I'm gonna go Mike Williams, man. I'm gonna go Mike Williams. Um, Pickle Rick, that's exactly I was thinking. Hopefully, I can catch in anytime. How you feel about Knox or Max Williams? I like Knox better just because Buffalo passes the ball a lot. I mean, a lot. I mean, right after KC, it's probably them. Now that Atlanta's trying to run the ball a little bit more and they have a difference coordinator. Shot callers got to get back to work, boys. Much love. Fantasy is life. Yes, yes. Please tune in
Yes.
tomorrow for the recap and questions with shot callers, Sloppy Sundays. Pickle Rick Gabe, please hit that subscribe and like button and even follow us on IG if you guys got the time.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
but yeah, I like Knox because they pass the ball more. Giants versus Falcons. This is the question that a lot of the industry and the community has been talking about. Daniel Jones, Barkley hype. Um,
This is the week for
Is
it.
Pitts finally going to be the highest drafted tight end of all time? Is he going to show why they took him 4 overall? What are your thoughts on the fantasy implications of this game?
It should be a decent scoring affair,
Mm-hmm.
especially for the Giants against Atlanta. They basically their defense is trash. So Saquon should break one. Danny Dimes, he should get a couple of man. I even thought about picking up Darius Slayton for this one and hope that he can catch the ball this week. But I don't need any other receivers. But it
Yeah.
was just the idea. That's how bad Atlanta is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my flip side is I got Mike Williams. God damn it, I forgot his Mike
Calvin
Davis.
Ridley.
I got Mike Davis in a number of my leagues, and I'm trying to dump him, and I'm wondering if I should start him this game to see if this is the game that they can actually get somewhat of a running game against the Giants. They haven't looked that great, that D line. So
So you
I
looking
don't
to
know.
move? So you looking to move
And
Mike Davis is what you're telling me?
was that we can work something out, man. We can work something out. But if James Bradbury is with Ridley, here's a name for you. Russell Gage is out. Olamide
Ooh.
Zaccheaus. He could be a sneaky pickup if you need to stream a wide receiver. So I'm hoping that Kyle Pitts does get a lot of balls because I do have him on a couple of my teams as well. Uh, but yeah, it's good. It's going to be interesting to see, man, what
Yeah,
happens.
for sure, for sure. Um, I got Kenny G going breaking 16. I got him getting at 16 minimum 16 points. One thing that I've noticed is that when a receiver choose out their old coordinator, receiver coach, or head coach, he usually gets fed the next week. They're paying him 18 million
That's what I'm going to say, especially
per.
you get
They
18.
they they need to get return on they need ROI, and we're talking about not draft capital. We're talking about real
Right,
capital.
right. But
So
my man
I,
Sterling Shepard gets targets, man. Luckily, I got
yes,
him in most of my leagues too.
I,
That's
I
the
think
thing.
I think Galladay is going to get schemed a lot, and they're going to target him a lot, and I think he's going to get a touchdown and maybe have 80 yards and possibly 6 7 receptions. I think he might have 7 receptions on the season. I could
That's
see
not a
him
bad call.
matching. I could see him matching that. Um,
That's not a bad call.
Obviously, if you drafted Saquon, you got to start him. I think you could play get Galladay as a flex if you're hurt, if you have lots of injuries, or if you're a Hopkins owner and you own Galladay and Hopkins doesn't end up playing. Slide him into your wide receiver to your flex. I don't trust Danny Dimes. Um,
Neither do I.
sorry, Mike Davis, maybe a flex play. You drafted him as a flex, and that's probably the best that you're going to get return on investment.
Yes. Yes.
Ridley is obviously a no brainer, and Pitts, you drafted him in the fourth, fifth. You better play him. That's
But
it.
if Saquon
Um,
don't do it this game, boy,
oh yeah,
ooh,
it's a wrap. It's a
better
wrap.
sell high. You better
A lot of
sell.
hey, the first episode of boot camp. Shout out to the Fantasy Football Boot Camp. We told you guys. We told you guys. Be careful with Barkley, and nobody listened. We got laughed at. They shamed us like Cersei in Game of Thrones. They dogged us. They threw eggs at us, and now everyone's like, "Oh, watch out for Barkley!" Like, bruh, come
Mhm.
on, don't
Yeah.
get me started. It's late. Denver versus the Jets, the Broncos and the Jets, man.
Ooh, I am starting Denver's defense. I know that.
Ooh,
I'm
nice.
hoping it is pick a palooza, boy, for Zach Wilson. I'm be like, give them all
Hey,
to me. Give them all to me.
yeah, my man's is looking
Yes.
like Zach Efron playing Zach Wilson in High School Musical. And I never wish bad on anyone. I hope he does well. I don't think you can play any Jet this week until Michael Carter emerges as the number one. I don't trust him, and even
Exactly.
then, if he was the number one, I don't think I would play him versus Von Miller and
Not this
that front
defense.
seven
Yeah.
because Denver's defense is for real.
Yeah.
Um, then you look on the other end. You spent
Lot
Denver.
to play
You got to
right
start. You
there.
got to start Sutton with no Judy. You're
Yep.
probably going to play Fant, and I think you got Williams and Gordon flex appeal.
Yep.
A lot
I
of
got
people
them
spent that
both
draft
starting
capital
in
on
one of my leagues.
Williams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. You gotta push him, man.
yeah.
I'm even starting Teddy in my leagues, man. Teddy's been on
Man, you
point.
down bad, bro. You just don't care about quarterbacks. This is my first
I
year playing with
tried
you.
this year my zero quarterback strategy. I was like, if Russ is gone from where I want to take him, I'm just gonna hold on. And yeah, it's not working out that great. I'm not gonna lie. I will know better for next year. I
I
will
hear
not do
you.
this again.
I hear you. Cleveland versus Chicago. We starting Monty. We're starting Al Robinson. Maybe a sneaky play with Justin Fields. That's someone who you need to get on your roster as a quarterback.
If I could.
Cleveland. We got Chubb, Hunt. It's hard to believe that they're both going to eat throughout the
It-
entire season. No, Juice Landry is out, but OBJ is in.
Right.
Any projections before we move on? I know you got to go, so I don't want to
No,
hold you up too much.
no, we're good, man. Man, I want to see what he's going to be like this first game back. I'm thinking, you know, over under about 5 catches, man,
Mm-hmm.
63 yards. I don't think he scores.
Ooh,
I don't think
fair
he
enough.
scores. Yep. I'm wondering if they're going to have him on a pitch count, but then I'm looking at who else do they have? They got the guy Schwartz. You know, he
That's
got
about it.
one target last week.
Two
Peoples Jones, he didn't really do anything.
two tight ends, and
Yeah,
then Njoku
yeah,
and
they didn't even do any that much last week, man. And I
and
actually was trying to
Hooper.
keep an eye on Njoku. So I don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where the dump offs to second back man Kareem Hunt comes in.
yep,
So
I'm
we'll
with it.
see.
Uh,
See.
this one is going to be a difficult one because the defenses are so stingy. Los Angeles Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. That
Man,
is a scary matchup for fancy owners.
it is. This is truly a gamble right here. Tom
Mm-hmm.
Brady's been killing it, so it's like I can't see sitting him right now.
Right.
But again, this defense, I think they're going to be on level 10 for this game because this is a preview. I
NFC
think
Championship implications
exactly,
in
exactly.
Week 3.
But the one guy that I'm looking to play that before I was like, I'm not playing any running back against the Tampa Bay Bucks defense. I've got Sony Michelle in a lot of my leagues, man, and I
Mm,
was wondering. He actually looked really good in filling in for Henderson
Henderson.
after he went out, man. And I'm like, you can't stack the box against the Rams.
No, you can't.
You got too many dudes. So I
Right.
can see McVay trying to scheme some things in for him, man. Could be a sneaky play. I'm still thinking about it, but
Yeah.
I'm,
Well, he's got to be named the starter first, which he could see a 50. We could see a 50-50 timeshare, but unless he's the absolute starter, I'm not going to play him against that defense on a 50-50 timeshare.
exactly. But I'm
Um,
looking at that rib issue that Henderson has. I'm thinking McVay does not want to. You don't want to put that in there against the Bucks.
right.
You don't want to
True.
put that in there
True.
against the Bucks. So that's why I'm
Could,
thinking he's going to
could
go
see a
ahead
snap
and
count
allow
for
him to play.
for Hendo. Snap
Could
count for
be,
Hendo.
could be.
Cup and Woods should be safe plays.
Yeah,
Stafford should have a rough day at the office, but he's probably gonna be a top 12 finish. On the other end, I've got shares with Mike Davis. Sorry, Mike Evans. I got him in
Evans.
the 5th round in a 14-man league. Shout out to Piggy in the Breaking the Bank league. Uh, Often he's shadowed by Jalen Ramsey, man, and I really don't have any other options in a 14 team, and I'm just gonna probably have to play him and just live. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. That's just what it
You
is.
got the goat back there, so you don't know what's gonna happen, man.
Right. No AB. So Gronk,
No EB.
Godwin, and Evans should see more targets. But
I
what's the
think Gronk might
what's a
even be
target
another
when you
sneaky
got
play
when you
right
got the
here.
SAS God on you? What'd you
That's
say?
true. I said I think even Gronk might be a sneaky play again right here. This
Yeah.
is one of those games where he'll sneak in and end up getting 2 touchdowns.
Hey, I mean he's done it for what 2 weeks in a row now. So why
Exactly.
not? Why not?
Exactly.
Arizona Jacksonville, man. What's going on,
Woo.
Urban Meyer? I told you we couldn't trust him week 1. Nobody want to listen to
You
7.
right.
I don't know everything, and I don't play like I know everything, but certain things he was one of those college coaches that I just had no faith in.
Yeah, you're right. He's one of those college coaches that needs to just stay in college. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this pro game is for you. From everything that I saw from Florida to Ohio
Utah,
State,
Utah.
nothing seemed like it would translate to the NFL.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. Now, like Matt Rule with Carolina, I saw stuff that would translate to the NFL.
Right.
This dude, I don't. And I see him, kind
Trojan.
yeah, somewhere. Exactly. Somewhere back in college. But I see him alienating these men. That's the whole thing, man. This ain't college. You can't talk to these cats the way you did to these younger dudes, man. And
Yeah.
just what he's doing with J. Rob, that's why I'm out on it.
Yeah.
I am out on it, man. I just hope he doesn't damage Trevor Lawrence. But that's why earlier when somebody had Marvin Jones up there, I was kind of like, I don't know, because you don't know who's getting the targets. I mean, I had drafted LaVisca, man, I dropped him. He's just,
Yeah.
not reliable.
They might go back to back first round pick, to be honest with you.
True, true.
It's possible. Um,
I
on the
see
other
it.
end, Kyler is killing it. When he's upright, he's one of the best in fantasy, man. Hopkins is
He's
questionable.
slinging rock, boy. He is
Yeah, I think
throwing.
you already answered the question. If Hopkins doesn't play, Rondo Moore is a must start. Chase Edmonds, nice flex play. I think I played against
Yeah.
Chase Edmonds in the Vegas league.
I'm even looking at AJ Green. He's actually been averaging like
Quality,
6
right?
targets a game, man. Yeah. So, just depending on who's drawing that top coverage from the Jags, man, they might just sleep on AJ, you know. So I'm like, hell, they're gonna score a lot. So I think
Right.
it could, everybody's gonna get their hands on the ball. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. KC versus LAC. I think
woo,
this is going to be a high scoring game. I had on the boot camp show. I had Herbert as my must start of the week as at quarterback as Herbie. He didn't live up to the hype and it actually cost me a W last week because
ooh,
I benched Brady and started him and lost by 18 and Brady outscored him by 21. So that was a,
ooh.
a Yahoo. Them Yahoo dubs hurt, especially when
Yeah,
you fighting for diamond, bro. You got everyone counts. Um,
that is true.
but Herbie Eckler, Williams, Allen, maybe Cook,
Yep.
the
Yep.
no brainers. On the other end,
Everybody.
KC.
Casey cannot stop the run, man, at all.
Yeah, no, they can't. Not at all. Obviously, Pat, Kels, Hill. Now, let me ask you this: what do you do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
This might be a game, man. The last game, you give him a chance
Him and
because,
Barkley are kind of in the same
yeah,
boat, in my
yeah,
opinion.
and it's not like that front seven with the Chargers are just shutting
No,
things down. You
right,
know, you look at what Tony Pollard just did last game. So I'm
right.
like, this is the game he should be able to do it, man. So yeah,
Yeah,
this
I
is the last
like
run.
that I like that Pollard reference because Pollard and Zeke both got pay dirt, got a biscuit, and they both, well, I think combined might have been 180
Right.
rushing yards. Yeah, so it's going to be an issue. Before we get to our Sunday and Monday game, Tennessee versus Indy. Tennessee, obviously, I don't know how you feeling, but they came back second half resurgence and did what they had to do. Julio looks like not a bad pickup for a second round.
Exactly. If
Uh,
the line pans out, it's going to be great for my man King Henry. Uh, who knows? Julio and AJ could possibly score. The Colts defense has not looked like people expected them to
at
look.
all, at
So,
all. What's going
and
on with them, man?
I don't
Uh,
know. If their offense isn't able to move the ball, that means Tennessee's going to have that ball even more. But
mm-hmm.
I want to see this should be a good game for Jonathan Taylor. You know, the defensive line for Tennessee is not that great either. So
Nope.
he should be able to get some good run, especially if Eason is in there. I think they're just going to be looking at another guy is probably Naheem Hines because I don't
Right.
think they're going to be trying to throw the ball a lot downfield.
What do you
So
do with the Pittman Jr.? Can you put him in as a flex, or you just not really too much
it depends. I
inconsistency?
just don't trust Eason if he's. I mean, if it's my man Hobbler, the the two ankle sprain Wentz, then maybe. If it's Eason, I don't know, man, because he's
Yeah.
so you know inaccurate. So that's the thing. I'm going with the run game, and that's about it. Hell,
Yeah.
I trust Zach Pascal more than Pittman. I think in this game, that dude just seems to be somewhere to get a touchdown. Very
Yeah.
touchdown dependent, but you know,
San Francisco, Green Bay.
woo man. I think Aaron Jones continues to build. I think Devontae Adams finally gets in the end zone on this
Oh,
one.
He's overdue, right?
Yeah, yep. Uh, Debo, if he anybody, whoever's getting covered by Kevin King is getting the touchdown.
You hate Kevin King.
I can't stand Kevin King, man. I don't even know how this dude is still starting. I do not know. Ever since, man, he let Scotty Miller score in that divisional game in the playoffs,
NFC.
man.
Yeah.
Right before I was like, this dude is garbage. Why is he in the game? And then last week, I was like, come on, man. Come on. So, yeah, whoever he's covering, maybe it's Ayuk. I don't know. That's the only thing. I'm never feeling, other than Kittle, I don't feel comfortable with anybody in San Francisco's offense. They just spread the ball around too much,
Yeah.
uh, and it's just always you can't put your finger on who will be the person to score.
Right.
So
Right.
I just stay away.
I rock with Debo as a flex, maybe even a wide receiver too. I don't trust Kittle. I don't trust Ayuk. I don't trust Jimmy G. I don't trust Trey Lance. Sermon was just announced as a starter. At least that's what Plug told
Yeah,
us. Shout out Fantasy Football Plug in the Pace League
yes sir, yes sir.
and Bear Clothing as well, one of their sponsors. Um, I probably don't mess with. I probably start Sermon, but he's probably the only other person outside of Debo that I feel confident playing like
Right,
regularly. On the
yeah,
other end, you got to start Aaron Jones. You got to start Aaron Rodgers. You got to start Tunyon and Adams. I'm not touching anyone else not named Adams, Rodgers. Um, I just said his name. The running back, Jones, Jones
oh
or Tunyon,
yeah,
Jones or Tunyon. That those four, and I think that's it. I'm not. I wouldn't take a risk on anyone else.
man,
Uh,
good with
Monday
that.
Night Football.
One
Talk to
day,
me. I looked like a few before I hopped on while I was waiting for my computer to boot up. A few Philly linemen are out. That
really,
could be an issue. I mean, that might
that with that,
that might hurt. That's obviously going to hurt Sanders, but that might be good for like collapse pocket running for Hurts
yeah,
and just a vertical.
man. The defense for Dallas kind of showed me something last week. As a Seattle fan, I'm a big Dan Quinn fan as a defensive coordinator, not as a head coach. And
Right?
he is starting to make some changes that are effective with that defense. So,
Mm,
guys like if Diggs is covering Devonta Smith,
yeah,
I'm like, hmm, I'm not too. Although I love the way he runs his routes, I don't think I'm starting. I'm starting it. The regular guys, the regular crew. CeeDee Lamb, he's almost into that level where he is matchup proof as well.
yeah,
Cooper definitely starting. Dak definitely starting. Uh, you know, then the toss up is who do you start, Zeke or Pollard? That's the only thing now, man. Woo, it's almost like there can only be one in some of these games, man. So
I
yeah,
feel you. I feel you. That's when drafting. Chubb and Zeke were kind of going side by side. Chubb went right before I took Zeke in the Vegas league. And
mm-hmm.
I like Chubb just because I don't like to have running backs and receivers on the same team. And if you
Right,
take Chubb, you could still take Cooper or Lamb in the third or fourth, depending on where they fell in your league. But when you
right,
took, when you take when you take Zeke, you probably don't want Lamb. If they have a bad game or like an average game like they had last week, it really hurts your team because only two touchdowns were scored and both the running backs scored, the starter
right.
and the backup. So that's why I had Chubb above Zeke, just because I wasn't probably going to start Juice or Odell. But
Good stuff.
hopefully Zeke can get back on track because I feel like he's not quite there. He looks in phenomenal shape, but it's just I know the O line. Martin had Cuh 1919, and I think Collins is fighting a suspension, and
Mm-hmm.
one guy might have an ankle. So his O line, I like to think that he's better than the O line, but the O line isn't 100% right now, and that's just what it is.
Well, the
They
thing
they should be
is,
able to do well. I think
yeah,
it's going to be a decently like 31-28, 34-31.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know who I'm playing. I really don't check my opponents. I just check my squads. So I hope Zeke just does well because I got Zeke, and hopefully I'm not playing against him.
Well, that's the thing that I'm starting to look at now. It was a battle between, it seemed like, who is running the offense. Is it Zeke or is it Dak? It's
Mm-hmm.
clearly Dak now. And
Right,
Dak
right,
gets to throw the rock as much as he wants. And
yeah.
that's where I think another issue is with Zeke, that stuff is starting to change to where they're willing to go ahead and throw the ball downfield a lot. So,
Hey, shout out Warzone Sports Network. Cooper rib injury, gonna allow Lamb to shine more. What about Schultz?
yes.
Was that
Schultz
was
would be a
that?
sneaky
Were
play
you
too,
waiting for that one? You said that like you were waiting all night for someone
yes.
to.
Across all my leagues, I got CD Lamb. C
Yeah.
Dangerous Lamb. That's my dude right
Oh,
there.
that was for Lambs. That wasn't for Schultz.
Right. Well, no, it was for, he was saying it's going to allow Lamb to shine, but I think Schultz actually, if you need to stream a TE, a tight
Mm-hmm.
end, I think he could be a guy for you, to where he's going to get some targets. So,
Yeah.
especially if Cooper is out.
I might be in the business for a new tight end after Flojo sold me on Gerald Everett, and two targets per game ain't cutting it, bro. I knew
Yep.
that man has amazing takes, but I'm starting to question his fantasy advice. But man, this has been another week. Do you guys have any more questions? It looks like we got 3 people in the chat. Um, I want to say this has been another week of FNL Fantasy Live, where we just do a preview of the weekly games coming up and answer a few questions. Sorry again for the technical difficulties, and once again, man, RP tags. That one hit me, man. It's like when like someone but you don't know past. Like I never
Right.
met him, but yeah, that shook me up at work when I was working a little OT this morning.
No, I hear you.
Um,
I hear you.
Shout out to media, man. The
Man, new version is coming soon. Hopefully
There it
being
is.
launched here November 1st. November
Yeah.
1st. You heard it here first. November 1st.
Hey, the
New
power of a
media.
press conference in the
Yes,
palm
sir.
of your hand, bro. You gotta start. I'm telling you, once I get my money right, if it's available on the market, I'm copyrighting
Don't do that, man. We're in the
that.
process. We're in the process.
Hey, I'm gonna hold it hostage. Who's your for? You got Najee Harris in the Vegas League. It's gonna cost you. That copyright gonna cost you Najee. I'm
Oh
telling you.
man. Oh man.
Hey,
Ooh,
take
that's
care,
good. That's
everyone. Thank you for joining us for FNL, another week of FNL. Shout out to the Fantasy
good.
Football Network for hosting us and giving us this platform. Take
Yes,
care, everyone.
sir.
Peace.
All right, guys. Peace.